everybody, Patrick Kofi also here with Social FlyWay. And today we are going to actually be doing a video. We're going to show you our Substack Architect GEM and skill that we have and we created. Now see, for people, a lot of people, writing's not their thing, right? And that would be me, right? I'm 100%, I'm not a writer. I'm more so definitely one of the person that likes to just talk, get my thoughts out, try to generate, information from what I'm thinking, how I'm thinking, and kind of put it out that way. And then there's people out there that are just really good writers, right? And we're talking about Substack, and this is going to be slightly controversial because in the Substack world, and Substack is created for people that are normally writers, right? But with it being one of the new platforms where there's a lot of attention at, and for someone like me that builds systems for people to create content, what I try to do is try to find out the best ways to create content to make it easier for people, even if they're not 100% at the best skill set of a such thing as, for instance, writing. Hence, we create our Substack article, GEM, and skill that you can pretty much put your GEM inside of Gemini or take the skill and put it inside of Claude. And then obviously, if you have a skill or you have one of both of these, if you're using ChatGPT, you can take that, pop it in there, and it'll format it to work for ChatGPT as well. But so today what we're going to do is for this skill, especially for mine, and I specifically made this for mine since I'm not necessarily a writer. Our normal one is there for writers to help polish what they write. And then also there's a section on the setup inside of it. It asks you, are you more of a writer or are you more of a talker and a brainstormer? And so what I like to do when I create my Substack articles, or even anytime I write a lot of articles, or even when I'm trying to come up with content, is I like to do a brain dump, right? And so inside of my Claude and inside of my Gemini, when I say, hey, let's go to brain dump mode in for using X gem or using X skill, what I do is I goes through here and I kind of brain dump what I do and like what I want to think, like kind of my raw information. And then I go back in and I say, hey, okay, I like this line. Let's rewrite this, woo, woo, woo. And I use AI to help me kind of formulate really and work my way through how the article should be made. Now, obviously for a lot of people, they hate this. And they're like, oh, you're not a writer. Well, no, I'm not. I'm sitting here doing video. But guess what? A lot of you writers can't do video. So, But anyway, that's what we're going to do. And so you guys stay tuned, and I'm going to show you my process, and hopefully you like it. All right, here, Claude, what we're going to do is today, I want to talk about how I'm feeling right now about social media compared to interest media, okay? So what we have for interest media is right now, obviously, a lot of the social platforms are putting things in front of people that are what they are interested in. And so a lot of people actually at this point are looking at it as, okay, I need to make these either videos or these posts with all these different taglines to keep people in a certain amount of time and interest to watch the videos, right? Because it's interest media. And then to keep them locked in. And they're pushing stuff through the algorithm based on interest. But the real big thing about it is they're always saying that social media is dead. And what I want to kind of talk about and talk through is the fact is that I used to say I thought social media was dead, but now I just think social media has changed. Now, and you are going to ask me, why do I think social media has changed? Now with the advent of people starting to enjoy IRL, in real life events, with the activation, pop-up, experience economy starting to jump off heavy, social media now just hasn't changed. Actually, social media is what it's finally becoming on what it was maybe officially supposed to be. Where, I'm sure I'm about to run out of text here and we're going to have to pick this back up. But I'm thinking that social media really is starting to finally work its way truly back off the platforms like it was at the beginning. Beginning social media was there to really be a promotion tools to get people Okay, and it stopped. So we're gonna run through it here and let run thing, and it's gonna with the dump, it's going to let me it's gonna take where I'm at, and then we're gonna proceed back into more of what we're talking about here. Well, yeah, I'm more saying want to keep on going because it kind of went from there, and so yeah, so pretty much what I was saying is that when the first days of MySpace, which funny enough, just a week ago, MySpace announced that they're going to relaunch the platform, or try to relaunch the platform again for I think maybe the third time, because they realized that a lot of people are way more interested into their friends and the things that they followed, and that's what they were used to. But the algorithm and all the new platforms really went towards the advertisers, the economy, the people they're making money off the ad spends idea of, oh, we want to be able to use this data to put in front of people's face. So that's how I think, at least from my perspective, how we got to this interest media space. But what we're seeing is with people wanting the experience economy, it seems like we have gone full circle from actually today was the invention of the internet here on 8/6/1991. With social media as of today, people are it's back to going to social media to find out what to do off of the computer for once again. Whereas we can look at 5 years ago, it really was about being on your thing. You're communicating with your friends. All your conversation was done. You could sit there and jump on the video and talk to people, right there on the platforms, most of them, or at least they were trying to do that because that's where the people were at. And now with this new kind of economy and the new want to disconnect from the social platforms, even though everyone has a phone in their face at all times almost, and that's really still the main place. I think social media, okay, so we'll stop again. And so there we go. Okay, and so, yeah, we're gonna keep on going because I saw some more stuff I want to dump here, is that where we're looking at is that we're starting to see the resurgence of IRL, and even brands starting to go away from just pushing stuff via social and pushing stuff into to real life, right? And so the friends graph to the interest graph to the friends in person is what's happening. And so what I think people really we need to kind of look at is re-examine maybe the way what social media actually is again, right? And because in this new frame, we are all creating content to engage people on their phones, to get them to buy stuff or like us or follow us and be involved. And if you're the content creator, you're doing it to get as many views, likes, and whatnot for them people to pay you to be on the internet, right? And to be on social media, on the social media platforms. But now it's gone back full circle to back when I can remember when we first were on social media. We were put on because we could reach more people to bring them into an event. Now, club promotions, things like that, some of those different type of industries, it's kind of always been that way because it's a marketing platform to get you in the building. But now you're starting to see it's become even more prevalent. And so I guess what I'm looking to kind of, not only kind of frame and what we're framing and what I'm kind of put together here is that right now I'm thinking that social media is still social media because we still now craving for people wanting to be social again. When at one point in time we were in an area where people wanted to be social, but they wanted to be social away from people. Okay, and so I want to keep going with that. what I want for this brain dump, and here I'm going to read back the two things you asked me before I'm writing. Is this a full brain dump, or is this more you're chasing and you don't have a real moment from your own work that proves point 4, which is point 4 IRL and experience economy resurgence in the market correcting itself. And putting it into activation instead, or post that flopped while in an in-person push worked, or a real example is that turns this from a smart take into something only you could have written. See, and this is the beauty of what I'm doing here, right? So I'm dumping this stuff in here, and it's helping me kind of think about it. Since I'm not a writer, since I'm not a writer, me being able to kind of dump, organize my thoughts, have it create thoughts for me, kind of and question what I'm going to question is a fantastic way for me to be able to not only be able to create this article and these Word documents, but also help me organize my thoughts, right? Now, for a lot of people, this is a brain dump. You could organize them, and if you're a writer, you can go now, take your notes and write it down and say, okay, now I can go in here and write it, and I'm going to type it and do your thing. But for someone like me that's normally doing video, you're watching this and you're watching this platform, like you could probably, there probably be cuts out of what I just said, and you'll hear my brainstorm, and it might turn into a video, right? But so what this is doing is it's making, once again, intelligent media engine is what we do, is we are creating multiple pieces of media out of one piece of media to create multiple different ideas and multiple different talking points and multiple different pieces of content based off of one piece of content. And so this is one of my solutions for doing it, right? And so this helps me a ton. And I think for a lot of people out there that aren't writers, this could help a ton. So once again, I just answered it back. It's going to give me some more information. I just put it in when I just read to it. We're going to see what it cranks back out at us. So yeah, exactly, those two. Let's make it easier, one at a time. First one, is this a brain dump done, or is this more still coming? No wrong answer, just wanted to know if I can keep listening or start shaping what we've got. We're gonna go ahead and dump some more. So yes, so the last thing is, and you actually brought this up in one of our things, the social media starts as a promotion layer to get the people together in person. And so while that's been gone, I still think it's prevalent because the economy is still here. So really the real question is what, and how we're kind of looking at this article, and what I'm questioning without it's right or wrong is, have we been too fast to say social media is dead? Or is it just social media as the way we're using the platforms now is evolving, and the interest graph is putting stuff in front of people, but also with the interest graph putting stuff in front of people, it's giving us the opportunity to make people more social again, about maybe potentially getting them to places where, and to more things that they actually like to be social. And so that's kind of where I want to go with this article. And so I wanted you to kind of take my thoughts, brainstorm my thoughts, my feelings, and kind of how I'm seeing this right now. Give me a rough draft and let me read through it. And then I can kind of help me brainstorm exactly how I want to explain this a little bit more. And also give me the talking points that I were really passionate about inside of this brain dump first, actually, to give me kind of an outline of where my thoughts were going and kind of where I'm at. Sounds like of most importance that would make sense for a type of article like this, and then give me a full article of what you suggest this article should sound like. So now, there you go. So that's how I am prompting and talking to it and working my way through. And so during my process, this is just exactly how I like to do it. Like I said, is AI writing a lot of this? Well, yeah, it's writing it. Am I guiding it? Yes. I am the human in the loop, right? It's not going to put anything in here that's I'm not agreeing to or don't know. But what it is going to do is, once again, as you're going to see on the screen, which I'll show you here, my talking points. And it came up with my talking points that made sense, right? Talking points in order of how hard you were pulling on them, or how hard I was pulling for them. The core reframe, not social media is dead, but social media is finally becoming what it was supposed to be. This was your loudest point. You said the 3 separate times in different ways. So there you go. The friends graph, interest graph, friends in person. The arc you built live. This is the spine of the whole piece, which kind of actually, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Went from the friends graph to the interest graph to now we're into friends in person graph, right? Because this is where we're kind of moving to it and we're making it social again. MySpace relaunch is approved. The owners themselves relaunching MySpace, algorithm and scroll, and they want friends and their interests back. That's not the option. That's the market talking, right? And then number 4, it gave to me as a talking point, club event promotions as the it's never left example. It says the corner of the industry never drifted from the friends graph model. Social was always just a thing that got people in the building, which is very true, right? At this point, outside of your hand-to-hand marketing back in the day, that's some of you old school people like me would understand that one. And then the honest, open question, have we been too fast to call it dead, or is interest graph actually the mechanism that's routing people back into real rooms? You didn't land this as a hot take. You landed it as a genuine question, and I think that's the most human part about the whole dump. And that's really kind of the truth. And so that's kind of where we're at. And so, I could read the whole article and get it to you, or actually what you will be able to do is once we finish this, you'll be able to see it on our Substack and read the article on our Substack. But what I wanted to do was show you an example of how our Substack Architect GEM/skill worked and how I like to use it and implement it. And also maybe this would be something easy for people out there that are normally into using that are saying, oh, I can't write articles, we can't use Substack. I find it really hard to write long posts for LinkedIn. For you to have a way to be able to use a similar one, which I actually do have we do have a full content creating GEM skill that's set up basically for LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, where you do a very similar thing as this, a brain dump, walks you through the process, and you get to figure out, edit it and work it from there, right? If you just want to use it raw, man, go for it. I'm usually a person that I like it to crank something out, and then I actually read it, and then I like to adjust it and make sure that, and talk to your AI. I say this all the time. Talk to your AI to make sure that it's actually explaining what you actually really wanted to say and how you really mean it. So that's our process. You saw some of it cranking out. I'll show you some of the article on the screen. You can maybe read through the original start, but we're going to go on to the next process of doing this and get this Substack article out. If you haven't followed us on our Substack, it's the Art of Orchestration. You can see the link below inside of this video, or we'll put it across the screen. And we'll see you next video. Patrick Kofi Austin, Social FlyWay. Stop trading time. Start orchestrating growth. Peace.